Somewhere in the middle of an ordinary breath, a thought flickers. What if the chaos I see is just music I haven't learned to dance to yet? And every time you notice the noise, something inside already begins to sort it, to tilt your focus just a few degrees until patterns appear. It's the mind's secret hobby, turning confusion into clarity by simply wondering about it. And as you hear these words, a part of you, it may remember, you've always known how to do that. Since the first time you learned to balance on a bike, or calm yourself by looking at the horizon. The same mechanism, the one that steadies a child, steadies a universe. The old storytellers, they called it direction. Not the kind that points north, but the kind that points inward. The act of choosing where to look, until the looking itself becomes creation. Because every focus, every tiny decision of attention, is a sculptor's hand shaping the clay of reality. When you hold your focus on trust, the geometry of the moment stabilizes. The molecules in your chest arrange themselves into rhythm. Thoughts line up like stars finding their constellations. That's not mysticism. That's biology, discovering its own design. People forget. The brain hums in harmonics. Each thought a note. Each emotion a frequency. When fear fractures the field, it's like static blurring a song. And when you remember coherence, the melody returns. You can almost feel it now, the subtle click of things aligning. The same way a lens sharpens a view when you twist it a little. It's funny how a single shift in the angle can change everything you see. You might think of attention as light. Diffuse, it glows. Focused, it cuts. And as you imagine holding that beam steady, notice how your body already begins to mimic coherence. The breath evens out. The chest expands. The pulse quiets to listen. Somewhere your nervous system smiles, recognizing a familiar frequency, the one it always sought. Now zoom out for a moment to the big picture. Every person who learns to steady their own signal becomes a small sun. When one field organizes, nearby chaos starts to sink. A calm person in a storm doesn't stop the rain. They simply remind the wind of its rhythm. That's how the world changes, one coherent field at a time. And if someone refuses direction, they drift. They become passengers in algorithms, extras in someone else's dream. That's not punishment, just physics. Energy without focus disperses. Attention without intention decays. But even that realization can turn the tide. Because the moment you see the drift, you've already begun to steer. So imagine years from now, looking back. The you that mastered direction walks differently, more grounded, yet lighter. Speaking from a place of voltage rather than volume. The people around you feel it. Some will call it calm, others charisma. But you'll know it's coherence. And you'll smile, remembering all it took was learning to turn chaos into harmony by changing the angle of your attention. Every system has feedback loops. When you feed fear, fatigue echoes back. When you feed clarity, creation answers. And somewhere between those choices, life leans in, listening for the next command. So the question isn't, can you focus? You already do. So where will you point that focus next? Because the moment you choose, you become the conductor, the mirror, the music itself. Attention is love, is energy, is life. And each moment you direct it consciously, you bring another layer of chaos into order. That's the quiet alchemy, the real harmonic inversion. You don't escape the storm. You learn to orchestrate it. And as you do, you realize you're never the lightning, nor the thunder. You are the sky big enough to hold them both.